Hello, hello everyone. What a busy couple of hours already. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much to Beth and Suzanne, creative partners, for sharing their creations and ideas and inspiration. And I hope that it's encouraged each of you guys as you participate in the challenges that we have going on for World Card Making Day. It's been really, really fun. So I hope you guys are having a lot of fun. So I am excited to share challenge number 3. With that said, I was just talking to Sonia, and sometimes, things work and then sometimes they don't. So because of some technical issues, we are going to make all of the challenges deadline at 8 o'clock Central Time. So you do have some time if you're concerned about it. So keep working on creating those cards and getting them done, and make sure to jump on over to the Play to Create group. We included the link here in this live event above for that challenge, and it will take you right over, and you should be able to enter in those your pictures of your own creations. Share it with us in those comments, okay? And so either way, hopefully, let us know if you have any questions. But with that said, let's get started with challenge number 3. Perfect. I see you guys. So I'm going to mute myself so that I can see it. Hey, Janice. Hey, Debbie. I'm good. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. There really is something so beautiful about a handmade card. I think that the thing that's so beautiful about it is that how meaningful it is, right? And it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Just the care that goes into it, and then the thought. That thought of sending that out to someone is just so meaningful. That we really need more of in the world, right? We need more of that thoughtfulness and meaningfulness and sincerity of them. So thank you cards. Thank you cards do just that. So that is challenge number 3. It's easy peasy, guys. You can add a thank you to the front of your card with some stamps. So here's a card that was stamped on some paper. And if you're not familiar, I'll share with it just for the sake of. The templates are clear, so once you stamp it on your paper, then at that point, you would lay up your designer template. You can see through it. So for those of you that are stampers or like to use stamps, the designer templates play really friendly with stamps. They help simplify somewhat of that stamping process as well. This was just printed on the paper itself, so that was a really easy card. Lots of ways that you can say thanks, like thanks for simply being you, thank you. Here's a little Thanksgiving card that could just be attached to a little gift, but it also opens up and you can add a little sentiment inside of here. So that's always fun too, a little tag card. And it is that time of the year, right? So little Thanksgiving gratitude cards are always fun for the season. Another just basic thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for being my friend. So a lot of ways to say thank you, and a lot of different shades and colors and moods and whatever that might be, whether it's seasonal, whether it's pinks and blues and reds or yellows and all the above. It does not matter. A thank you comes in many forms and many styles, right? So we are going to quickly just design a thank you card together, and I'm going to be using the card sampler set. I thought I would make it really easy on myself. And for those of you, well, I'm assuming maybe a lot of you guys joining me are card makers, but if you happen to share this video with someone that's not a card maker, or maybe is not sure where to get started, definitely recommend our sampler sets. They come with a variety of different samplings from other variety of sets, but they all come in together, and it's the perfect way to get started. And so if someone just want to kind of test it out, even if you're a scrapbooker and you think, I'm not sure if I want to get to card making and use up all my scraps, because it is a lovely way to use those scraps, then all you need to do is invest in one of the sampler sets, and then that way you can kind of know for sure for yourself how much you'll get use out of that, and the joy and the fulfillment that comes through creating such a small little card, but sending that out to the world in one way or another, right? So this is the sampler set. It actually comes with a lot. And this is at a great deal. It's $10 on the sampler sets, and we do them because we want people to just be able to have a chance to give it a try. So check that out. It comes with a lot. That's why I was like, I'm gonna make this easy on me, and I'm just gonna use this lovely sampler set in this live video today to hopefully encourage you guys to create your own thank you card for the challenge we have going on, but also to inform you guys that we have this set, and it's really great, especially again for those that maybe are just getting started or want to try it out and try their hand at making cards. Can't talk highly enough about it. Okay, so let's start playing. So I have these card bases that I just quickly pulled out that are already done. I actually think I just bought a pack of these. You guys probably have seen them before, where it just comes with a pack of blank pattern cards. And I always love to do that because for me, you never know when you just need a quick card. And so I always have a few of these on hand. And then at that point, just kind of giving a lowdown, you could, of course, use 6x6 pads are great for card making, or really, my go-to is always my scraps of paper. And I think I've shared this, boy, maybe it was last World Card Making Day, I can't remember, maybe not, I don't know. It is over on the blog. If you go search our blog for card making organization, you'll find it there, or how to organize your scraps, something along that line. And Sonia, if you're in the comments, you want to share that link, because it's a really great, this has been awesome for me to organize my scraps this way. I've tried many different ways. And so what I just did is I took the organizing pockets that we also use for designer templates, and I took my papers and I trimmed them all down to little element pieces. So when I scrapbook a layout, I just put them into my scraps, into individual pockets, and that way then I can just go through and create a card. So what mood am I vibing? Let's see. And then I can just pull one out and quickly make a card. It really doesn't get any easier than that. It's super great. All right, let's go with that one. Pull that out extra. Nice nails. Oh, Judy, my nails are so grown out. I keep thinking I need to go get them done. You guys can't see them close, and I'm even embarrassed to show them a little bit because they're so long. It's actually typing's getting difficult. They're probably about 2 weeks overdue. So I'm like, oh, maybe, and then I wanted to create this weekend, so you know, that was more fun, sounds more fun for me. So maybe next week in the evenings one time I'll make it work. I need to do it soon, but thank you. All right, so here are all my little scraps that I already coordinated, and you can kind of see I have one little pattern piece here that looks like it was cut from another thing. I can probably cut a little bit out of it, and the other pieces are just some blues and teals to go with it. So we will see what we can make out of this and how many we can do. So I'm just gonna take my scraps. Honestly, I could keep that like that. It was probably cut that way from another thing. If I wanted to, I really could pull something out of it with my templates. Maybe that wasn't the best scrap pack to grab out of my scraps because, well, let's just go with it. Let's go with this, and then we'll make another one because this one will come together so quickly. And a simple little flower will suffice, right? You don't need to do much. We can even do, well, that could be cute. Yeah, let's go something like that. And then I'm gonna add thanks across the middle here. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. So see how simple, and that's kind of the key, is that you don't have to overthink it, especially if you're just doing some standard traditional size cards to have on stock, because you can never have, I don't think you can ever have enough cards on stock. Will that yellow show on top of that stripe? Let's see. I think it will. Sorry, I'm processing pattern picking here, which is part of that step too. I think it will show. Usually I don't put yellow on yellow, but I think with a little bit of ink, which is also the beauty of inking those edges, it helps distinguish the patterns and colors from each other. All of the above. Gail says I'm having, Gail, you gotta check out the video. I sat down and I watched probably 2 movies to clean up my scraps, but you know, if your scraps get like, yeah, like if they're getting chewed up, I would toss those types. I would toss those types. But I did, I sat down and pretty much watched 2 movies, and I trimmed them up because, yeah, they were all cut up into, so then I trimmed them up into these little more straight edge with straight lines on them. That was part of my process when I was condensing my scraps to organize them inside of these little containers. So, because otherwise, I'm with you. Mine were all scraggly and mixed up and hard to organize at all, because whenever you went to go pull out the pieces, they would pull out everything else or get stuck with each other, you know, things like that. So you'll see on this flower, this designer template, Tiny Floral, that does come as a sampler inside of the sampler card making set. You can use it as a full, but I didn't because I'm going to tuck it, so that's why I only trimmed a portion of that design out, because when I was creating my style card here, I had it tucked in versus as a, you know, as a full, which it could be really cute as a full too. And it worked great with the scraps of paper because the square itself was not big enough to trace the whole thing out. So kind of keeping in mind your scraps of paper too, definitely. Otherwise I would have chose a different, like if I wanted to do that, I'd probably chose the blue because the flower would fit on top of that. So sometimes you have to, you know, manipulate your scraps of paper if you're really trying to make it a personal challenge to use your scraps. So when you're designing, you also have to consider what your scraps of paper you have, which kind of limits a little bit of that freedom to just kind of create whatever cards you want if you want to use your scraps. But at the same time, that challenge to use your scraps of paper to create a quick card is a super fun and purposeful challenge to have as well. So, okay. So see how that ink, yeah. Even though that blend of the color palettes, we got a lot of blues and yellows going in there, it's kind of got this soft feel, but that ink really helps distinguish those blends of shades from each other. So I'm going to add a little bit of a layer for a little bit more dimension, even though it's still flat, and not dimension in texture, but dimension in a layering effect. So sometimes when you feel like something is missing, just adding a simple another layer into your design will help with giving it a little bit more life, I guess, you know? So you'll often hear when we say layering, refer to it as more of like a dimension, which can be, again, dimension can be done with texture elements or by a layering, a touch of layering on those. Gail, I'm sure you have plenty of scraps for sure. Yes. I don't have the link. Oh, it looks like they just posted it in the comments. I kind of shared my thought process and working process when I organized my scraps. Like I said, I carved out, it probably was close to 2 movies plus when I did it. And I sat on the floor and I took my paper trimmer and I just cleaned up all the edges and then merged them into little card kits that coordinated for the most part into one single pocket. And so that makes it really easy when I want to pull out my scraps and take advantage of them for something like this, right? And then of course, if you had a cute little stamp, there's a lot of places, if you had a cute stamp that maybe you could put in the center, like a circle one, that's where I was thinking, I think just a simple, since it is a thank you challenge, let's put thanks on here somewhere with my long nails. I'm thinking either down here, that could be cute, nice clean line. I thought about on the here, but then I feel like you kind of, here, I'm gonna try it really fast. Like I could do like thanks and follow the wave, but I feel like you kind of lose it a little bit. You know what if we did this? What if we, because I don't want to lose it in with the patterns that we have, what if I just cut a little bit of a strip and it's just kind of like, more of like that, no really rhyme or reason to it. It just looks like another extra texture. Let's see, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna spell my thanks backwards. You could do thank you, you could do thanks. I think I'm gonna go short with thanks. What comes before SK? That's right. I'm like, wait, how do I spell things backwards? I got it, guys. I got it. It's okay. It is Saturday, but I think I can get it. Too funny. I was like, wait, how do I spell thanks again? Just to make sure. Thanks, gal. Thanks. You're so funny. I appreciate that, actually. Knowing me, it probably would go somewhere like that. Be like a whole new language of itself. I'm telling you guys, these nails, they are long right now. It kind of actually makes it easier with these stickers, but that's probably the only thing. So it just kind of helps pop that a little bit. I kind of like that little strip. Okay, so let me add some adhesive. And so I always start with the back layers. You know, I had a thought. Here, let me see. On a basic simple card like this, let me trim this up. Okay. I just want to see what a strip over here would look like if you wanted to like balance, or I don't know if it's needed. And it gets lost. It's not needed. It's good. So a little bit of adhesive and card one down. What about you guys? How about you? And hopefully you're creating a card along with me, because why not? And then make sure to follow the link above to enter the challenge, and you would be set. Not only would you be set in the challenge, but you would also double accomplishment, because now you have a card to send to someone. We are going to the next live event for today in celebration of World Card Making Day. We're going to be creating the Sending You card kits, or the cards from that Sending You card kit. If you had already purchased it, and if not, I'll share the link at that point, or if Sonia, you have that link, you can put it in the comments. But if you did purchase it, and go grab it, of course, for the next live, and we'll be creating along with those. And so we're gonna create all 10. So it's gonna take us probably a good hour and a half to create all 10 of those cards, but they're super cute. I love the colors, so bright and fun every time I look at them. And I pulled the first set that I made out. I pulled out to try to think of who to send them to. And now I'm gonna have another set done by the time we're done with our next live. So I will have a lot of cards to be spreading some little bit of joy with, which I always think is a great thing. So I just was looking for something for the middle of my flower. I need something. So I'm looking through my stash really quickly and seeing if there's anything that pops out. Typically, I usually stay away from too bulkiness on the card, but I think it's okay every once in a while to have one that's a little bit more bulky. Maybe if that's the case, you might send the card to somebody that, I'm trying to think what else I got, that necessarily you don't have to mail it to, that you can like deliver it to. I have all these little elements. I organize my little embellishments by colors. That's also something I figured out that works. Which one do you guys like? Should I just do a brad in the middle? Or this little crochet looking embellishment that I've probably had for years, because I don't use heavy embellishments that much anymore. But if you have them, then use them. Why not? Right? Mostly because I'm like, okay, I gotta look for all my stuff, try to find one. That could be cute too. Too many blues? Yeah? Okay, I'm gonna do this crochet piece. I haven't used it on anything else yet, so why not? Or the brad. I was torn. I like the cleanness of the brad. I feel like it matches the clean, simple feel we kind of have going on. Like that. We'll go brad. So we'll go with brad. I can never say brad anymore without thinking of my kids. I think I've shared this story with you guys, but in case you guys don't know it, I was talking to my daughter Abby once, and I was like, hey, can you go get me a brad? And she was like, who's Brad? And I was like, no, a brad. But she kept thinking I was saying somebody's name. I was like, no. She's like, who's Brad? Who do I need to go get? Anyways, it was funny. Maybe it was one of those things you had to be there. But every time I say Brad now, I think of it as an individual. Nope. It's a little Brad. Let me make sure that's good and stuck. I think it is. And voila! We did it! We did it. Yeah, so should we play one more card? What do you guys think? I think our next one is scheduled for, what is my next one scheduled? Let me make sure that I'm not like mixing up my schedules here. Well, that's not where I thought it was. Oh, 5:30. So we have a few more minutes, and then I will have to clean up and get my other things gathered together. And so will you guys, if you're joining me for the next live. Okay, well, let's go fast then. Let's see what else we can get done. So I have, again, a few card bases, so I'm gonna quickly assess what types of scraps. And guys, I didn't even, you know that little scrap packet? I still had all these little other elements inside of that scrap packet that I didn't even choose. So it's like scraps become scraps of scraps of scraps until they're just little pieces like this, then I throw it away. then it goes in to the recycling bin at that point. All right, let's see. Where's my, oh, I put it on the floor. So I'm gonna look for scraps that I think that can go with either a red base or a green base. So it looks like I have some scraps from, some kind of birthday. There's not a lot of main patterns in that one. Oh, this one's pretty. Looks like I have just a few different things, and that could go really pretty on that. All right, let's do that. That should come together quickly. So, same thing. I'm gonna just pull those scraps out that I've already somewhat coordinated. I'm not sure this blue's as, I don't know why I put that one in there. It's a little brighter than the other ones. We'll stick that in this other kit. It's a little too bright. Okay. So for this one, let's pull out some of our card borders. We have a lot of scraps that we can play with this one, so I think we can make some of these borders work. And I'm gonna flip that. Actually, are these double-sided? They are. Okay. And then we already did flowers, so let's move to, we could do a little cute star kind of clustered on top of that. Or again, I'm just gonna stick with our sampler set here. Tiny Explorer is kind of fun, and if we want that added layer, I could always add a touch of color, maybe something there. I usually layer it in, like in the center of the borders, the tiny borders, for if you're looking for a little bit of where to put the tiny accessories. Or again, another fun thing is just to kind of tuck them out like so. You kind of have some elements. That's the tiny tag. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's kind of like white and glossy for you guys. That could be also cute too. Okay, just give me a moment to play here and see what we want to create. That probably works. Let's go with that. Sometimes you can play too long, and sometimes you just have to say, eh, that works. Moving on. Moving on. So I'm going to trace that out of this pattern because I like my borders personally. I like my tiny borders to where it holds a lot of the patterns. And when I say patterns, the more busy or like the main patterns. So I'm going to trace that out, and I'll show you guys why I flipped this when I was creating. I'm going to flip it back to trace it out, but because I was using double-sided paper, I'm going to, I'm actually just going to do a straight line so I don't have to pull over my paper trimmer, and I'm just going to cut it by hand. I don't always do that. Sometimes I do my straight cut with paper trimmers, but we'll go with it. Anyways, so let me show you guys what I meant about the double-sided, just in case you're not familiar with the tiny borders. So you'll notice that I just lined this up, and then of course I traced it once down the middle. You could do straight cuts with your paper trimmer, or if you're confident with the scissors, which for these small cuts I am. With larger ones, nope, don't trust me to cut a straight line. It won't happen. And then I'm just gonna cut it the once up the middle, and the one cut will give me my two pieces. Now you don't want these, you can actually, I said you shouldn't say want, you could do where the same pattern is back to back, but if you flip it, then that's kind of what I designed. I think we designed it this way, my card to be, right? So I'm not gonna ink it yet. I'm gonna come back to inking. Let me go to my next pieces and decide kind of what colors I want those to be. Maybe the star, a little bit of, you know, it could be cute because, you know, because the star is kind of our main accessory here, right? This is more like a foundational item. It's gonna add a little bit of that dimension again, but the star is gonna set that mood. I think it could be really cute because again, we're doing thank you cards. Then inside I can be like, thanks, you're like a star, you know? You're a rock star, thanks for being a rock star or something. You can pull on those mood of your card and then let it inspire you with your sentiment too. Oh, so I think I'm gonna do that. That's what I was gonna do. Yellow. What other patterns do I have here? Let me grab that. Does that match? Yeah, that kind of goes. Okay. I'm just gonna trim the top of my tag like I did with the other flower because I'm not using the whole thing. I'm tucking it in. Use yellow for the star. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Okay guys, so don't forget, make your own little thank you card and enter it in the challenge for a chance to win $25 gift certificate to kiwilane.com. And the double bonus will be that you, that doesn't show much. I might trace it out a different color. Okay, anyways, bonus will be that you'll get a card done and a chance to win. So I'm gonna cut the star out of our yellow really fast though. Okay. Now that blue is kind of blending, not loving it. So we might have to adjust that a little. And sometimes that happens, just so you guys are aware. Sometimes it does. Maybe we just go with like a cream. That could be pretty. Just a very soft cream with the yellow. I think it will be, even though it's like a cream white, I guess, it'll feel more substantial than that one's kind of blending in. Okay. So let me try again. Let me lay it down and see what I think. Oh yeah, that will pop more. Okay, so I'm gonna cut another tag. I almost cut it out here and I didn't because I was like, oh nope, I'm gonna try the edges here. And because I like to keep, even in my scraps, whenever I can keep a bigger portion intact, then I always do that because you never know when you might need to cut out like a floral or something, you know, like a tiny floral. So just cautiously do that. Sometimes when we're creating, which is so beautiful about creating, we hit our minds go kind of into what's called a flow state. And so it's where your subconscious can kind of work and your conscious goes into a rest, which is why it feels so therapeutic and so good for you too, because actually when you're in that state, your brain's able to process, and whether process things that are happening in our lives or just process information that you receive, all the above. Anyways, but sometimes when we do that, we're not quite paying attention. So sometimes I have to catch myself, be like, oh, no, hold on, because I just get in the rhythm. You guys probably been there, right? You know that feeling. That's when you have that feeling, that's kind of what's happening. And it is super beneficial from, well, I would say from a mental, physical, spiritual, all the above point of view. All right, let me add inks to these ones. And then we will have card number 2 done. I'll probably still add a little thanks. I should have pulled out my little stamps, which I was going to, but I didn't quite get to that. So we might just do some little clean stickers too. Cute. And then we could even, yeah, hold on. I think I'm going to add a little strip. Hold on, let me cut it. Sometimes when I do those back to backs, I like to add a little bit of a strip down the middle. So let's add that too. Okay guys, let me know who's got their thank you card done. Hopefully you're able to create and listen and join and all the above. Hopefully you're working on it. Okay, where did my adhesive go? There it is. All right, so I start with the bottom layers and I just kind of eyeball where I had those. And that's why I like to use this repositional adhesive, not only can I reposition, but it also lasts. It's not like when I first started scrapbooking and, you know, paper crafting in general. I used some inexpensive adhesive, and my first couple albums that I did, well, after a year, they just fell apart because the adhesive didn't hold up. So that's why I like this one, because I can still reposition it, and I've used it for a long enough time that I know that that's not going to happen. So far, I don't know about 30 years from now, but so far it holds up, so that's good. And then let me trim those edges on that. And you guys, I just realized I did my card upside down. And this is what I'm talking about, that I can reposition it. My card was upside down. So make sure your card is the right side when you start designing. Let me add a couple more just because. And that's what I'm talking about. It's so funny that that happened. Okay. We'll push it all back down tight. Okay. And we'll add a little star. You can add a little stickles or something. I probably would do that just to add a little bit of extraness to maybe some of those edges, or enamel dots or something cute like that would be really fun. Oh, actually, this was just sitting here. That's kind of cute too. Oh, that's kind of cute too. All right. And that made it easy. Super easy. I had stuck this in with my papers. Sometimes I'll do that with extra embellishments that are just kind of hanging loose. Whenever they also coordinate with the paper, I'll just stick them in so that when I go to create with that paper, I don't have to go search through my embellishments like you on the other card. But again, I organize my embellishments by colors so that I can kind of try to think if I should do it there, like thanks, or, oh no, it doesn't show up on that pattern. So I think it's a good thing I added that strip again, because it wouldn't show up, not the white stickers that I'm using at least. It'd be cute if I had like a U. Let me see what other stickles I have, or stickers, hold on. I have some boxy ones. Not quite what I was thinking. I might have to go find some and then take a picture for you guys to see. Okay, how do I spell thanks again? I'm just kidding. You were just gonna ask if I put my, well, clearly I do. I don't think I do it often, but I'm glad that I checked this time. There are some, yeah. Sometimes I guess I do. Put it upside down. All right. I feel like I have to like concentrate. I'm not like I've met people, and I don't think there's anything wrong, but I don't stress too much about completely straightness, but for the most part, it's good enough for me. And luckily, I think I have that strip that's helping me, well, in both scenarios, to kind of keep it aligned a little closer, right? And so that's really a great guideline to kind of help me with that. Let me see really quickly. There's a navy blue version of those small white alphas, and between the two, they go with everything. I've purchased and used multiple sets. Oh, the white and the navy blue. It's funny that you say that. Here's the navy blue right there. So I feel ya, gal. I feel ya. They're good sizing too, I think, for you know, card making and stuff like that. So, but let me pull out some of my. Oh, by the way, I also store my thickers in these little storage cards containers that we have in the shop. So not only do I use them for design templates, but I also use them for my scraps of paper and to store my stickers that I don't use often much more because I love just the printed versions. It simplifies it so much. But again, if you have them, then use them. I think the hardest thing about stickers is that, because I'm like, oh, that could be cute, like a big U, but you know, when you get down and you use it like two or three times and you get down to what's left, well, you have to be really good at Scramble to make words out of it. Sometimes what I'll do, since we're on this topic, like there's no Y, right? But we could manipulate them a little bit. And either I could do, let's see if I want to do it first. Well, it could be cute. All right, let's see what it looks like when we, so this is what I mean when I manipulate it. I take a G, and I'm going to turn that G into a Y. I'm going to curve those edges a little bit more. And then luckily we have an O, so that's easy. And then I need a U, which I can take an H and turn that into a U. So yeah, sometimes I'll do that, especially if I want to mix different sticker styles together. I'll do that. I'm just gonna keep this style going and just curve that around. There we go. Thank you. When you take the S off. Okay. Probably move these over just a little. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to add a little liquid adhesive behind these stickers. They're not as sticky as I'd like. Sometimes you have to do that with stickers too, depending on the brand, it feels like. But for the most part, there is card number 2. So excited to see your guys' thank you cards. Make sure to follow the link, post them in the comments of that post that we mentioned up in the description so that you can enter into that challenge. And then don't forget to send your cards. Think of somebody that you're grateful for, especially this time of year. It's always a good time to express that gratitude and let them know that you appreciate them and all the above. So, all right, guys, we will see you guys. I'm gonna clean up and get a quick drink or whatever you gotta do. And then I will see you guys here in a few minutes for our last challenge as we create 10 cards using that sending you card variety pack. So if you haven't used it yet and you purchased it because it's super adorable and it's just a limited time in celebration of our card making day, pull it out. Let's get those cards made so that you can send them to somebody special. All right, see you guys soon. Bye now.